Hey everyone, welcome to POPXP. And before the show starts, make sure to click that subscribe button and click the bell to get notifications when we go live and we upload awesome new content. And don't forget, if you can, make sure to share our stream on all your social media outlets. We appreciate it, and thanks for helping us grow the POPXP channel.
Oh, is that intro?
What?
Is that intro new? Nile, is that intro new?
That is the original.
That's the OG
intro, bro. That's the OG crowdfunding comics intro, man.
Ah, okay.
It's an homage to better times.
The better times to the better days. No, it's good. Because I said, come hang with the OG gang. I guess you needed the OG trailer. Okay.
What?
Yeah, he was not messing around.
I wasn't messing. I had this shit lined up. The itinerary was set. We're going back in time with Blevins and Adam, and we're chatting it up for some crowdfunding comics. And what's cool, and I like this, hosts, friends, buddies, streaming. Yeah. Well, it's cool at times when we can actually share what one another are doing. And you, my friend,
I like friends,
is a Swiss Army knife of creator, because I mean, this man does absolutely everything. And you got a new campaign out, which is awesome.
Yeah, I do. I'm trying hard. I wish I could do everything. I don't. If I was an artist, I'd be set. But I draw my layouts and I do my own lettering. But I just, that's my weakness, right? But I am grateful that I get to collaborate with others. That I get to collaborate with others, and what I realize also too, Niall, and I realized it when directing TV as well, is that no one creator, artist, actor, writer, visionary is good enough alone. That you need people around you. Sometimes the circle is quite small, usually best when it is, who know your weaknesses and can help you see your own mistakes before they end up on screen, right? We had this moment in season 2 of Escape Tonight. And I'm definitely never told this story, where a Daystorm was getting killed, and there was this battle between the Confederate army. It was in a Victorian setting, the Confederate army and like this fantasy dark army, right? Like with like laser bows and axes, and it was like, a Lord of the Rings meets the Confederate army fight, and the characters get tossed up into it, and one of our main cast members gets killed, and I don't know before the episode who's going to get killed. It just happens real time through the show, which one of the main cast gets killed. And it turns out it was Daystorm, and he was about ready to be killed, and the Confederate army was the one who was in the script was supposed to execute him. But Daystorm is a black man, awesome dude. And as that scene was starting to happen, I was like, one of my art assistants, just like an art PA, just was like, "Are you really going to have it work like that?" And I was like, "It can't work like that. There's only a 1 in 10 chance it was going to be the black actor there, right?" And so we changed it up real time, and it was the fantasy army that killed him, etc. Because it would have made it, like a kind of a Civil War statement that we weren't trying to make, and so sometimes you're not you can make mistakes that are just not that are just coincidental, right? And you need other people to help you see them.
Exactly, and that's why you have the team to catch the little crumbs.
Yep, to catch the mistakes. That's kind of a deep dive of season 2 Escape Tonight. But
now, with your graphic novel creating in your books, do you have your hit team? Do you have the crew that goes with you on every journey?
It's been different each time, and I've refined it. And so this time, Tommy is my editor, who goes by Tompa. I'm sure you've seen his tweets. Is my editor. And so he has been an amazing partner because he edits both the art and the writing. And he's Finnish, right? He lives in Finland. And so he's English second language, but he's still quite good at catching things in the writing, and also just helps understand the story beat. So he's been like a big ace in the hole for me. I can't say enough good things about him. He's been with me every step of the way on this. And then obviously Maxie, my artist, helps me And it's why I draw my own layouts, so that I can see my own mistakes in my storytelling, because I can look at it on the page and go, Adam, that's not going to tell the story the way you want to. And I do rewriting. And then I have an amazing colorist, Mike Spicer, who is he's like the silent machine. You just send off pages and then they come back perfect. But it's really been, Maxie and Tommy, and also, I've sent some things around to, Rob Arnold has been very helpful, and Michael Bancroft. But yeah.
Nice. So here you are. So this is your third, right? Your third graphic novel.
Number 3. Yeah. Number 1 was the 8th, which debuted on.
What?
Yeah.
Right. Displayed
224 pages. Yeah. 224 pages. That's not always what I recommend for a first comic. But it was called the 8th. I felt like it needed to be 8 issues to really tell this story right. And so lo and behold, it became 8 issues.
Nice.
Such a great book.
Yeah, thank you. We really poured our hearts into it. And and had this premium slipcase. And then number 2, the Kill Journal, is all done as well. It's leather bound, really cool. All this detailing. It's based on this old ancient Bible. And you can see it has these symbols etched into it here, which relate to the story. So it's kind of a fun little hide and seek. And then here is the Kill Journal, Jason Krieger's amazing art. Here's Maxie Dallow again doing a little sub story.
Jay Krieger's?
This is Jason Krieger. Oh, there he is. He's in the house.
Hello, chat and
there
host.
He is.
You say his name and he appears. What is up?
What is up with that?
Yeah. So this is it, and he appears.
$1 million.
And $1 million. $1 million. So anyways, but the bummer about this is this has been on the boat from China for months because the crew got COVID off the coast of Hong Kong. They had to stop in Singapore. It's like shipping is already a nightmare, but then add the current, COVID / supply chain, and it's like, and you go to the port in Long Beach right now, and you just look out at these boats that go out into the ocean, that you feel like you're in a zombie movie.
So wait, is it still on the boat?
So the boat arrives on the 23rd. Okay. So what happened is, it got put on the boat. There's some people on the crew of the boat got COVID, so they had to stop it in Singapore, swap the crew, clean the boat, all this crazy stuff, right? So then it just delays it for a couple of months that you can't do one living thing about, and then you have to recharter. The boat has to recharter. It's all these things, and then has to get en route, right? And for many people, the crowdfunding game is getting killed right now because paper costs have gone up crazy. And so book prices have gone up, they've doubled, for lots of creators all around the world. And so many people are kind of like losing their shirts. It's pretty wild time. So fortunately, this book is on it before all of that could hit me, is on its way here. And I hope to have it to people by Halloween, but I can't promise anything anymore now with the way that the supply chain is working out.
Well, hopefully before the end of the year. Let's hope for that.
Yeah, I'm hoping that really it gets out in November to people, and I'd hope to have it to them before I launch this campaign. And so, but such is shipping, such as shipping in the time of COVID,
in the COVID era.
Yes, COVID era.
That damn virus.
The damn
but
virus.
Now that damn dirty virus. But now we've got kids and monsters. I love this idea. I love this. I'm like, you know what? This is a gold mine right here. An absolute gold mine. You remember this thing called like Ben 10 or some type of fun place, a child who turns into creatures? Well, this is even better. These are children that have monsters and backpacks. I actually really like it. Like, no joke. I remember I was like, dude, this could be like next level shit if this can get like animated or something. Like, this could be like the next big thing. You think of the merch, right? All of a sudden, I'm seeing a commercial like kids with these backpacks with their monsters coming out. Come on, let's do it.
I would love that, dude. I see that. And there could be, once this thing gets funded, hopefully this week, there could be a new surprise that appears on the campaign page. It could be. But I agree with you. I loved this idea that like these monsters lived in castles. They call them keeps. but they look like a backpack on the outside, but on the inside, they're like a castle where the monster lives. And these backpacks are in the world within. So in this mythology, we have teens whose parents are on the verge of divorce, and their world's about ready to be ripped open, and they start to see cracks in the earth that appear once their parents started fighting, right? It's a metaphor, right, of children whose parents and family life is about ready to split apart. And then they get brought into this ancient war between the red beasts and monsters. And so in the world within, they find these keeps or these backpacks that hold these monsters who've sworn to protect the bond between the two worlds, right? The red beasts want to rip the two worlds apart and make everyone miserable, and the monsters want to hold it together. And the kids can see the cracks and can and are commissioned with leading the charge. So they're trying to save the world, save their family, save themselves, right? And I think for anyone who's experienced divorce, whether it was your own parents or yourself or anyone around you, there is a lot of uncontrolled things, and especially when you're a young teenager, your world being ripped apart like that is about as frightening as a thing can be.
Mm-hmm.
So, and so here they are. There's these 6 rings. You can see the red beasts are ripping them, breaking this one. That there are 6 of them that hold the two worlds together. And once they've all been broken, then it's all over. And so this is, and these rings are kind of a metaphor for promises, broken promises, right?
Wow,
so
that's deep.
Jeez,
that is really deep.
Tried to get a little depth here on this one.
Yes, definitely.
There's always I tried to build 2 things, a beating heart to the story, which is kids trying to survive their potential family's divorce, and then a big fun supernatural war, right? So that the metaphor gets to play out in 2 worlds.
So we have three teenagers, right? Three
That's
teenagers with 3 different monsters. Now I'm just thinking right now in my head, right? I'm like, okay, there's 3 and 3.
Go for it.
So, but in this world, though, if this was a real world scenario, are we talking thousands of different monsters and thousands of other kids, or is it just these 3 in the world you've imagined?
Well, in the world we've imagined, and spoiler alert, there could be a moment later on in a later volume where there opens a door to more kids and more monsters. There's certainly you're gonna see in the pages of this the other monsters. They call it the Book of Torhild. They'll see some of the other monsters, but really for this story, mostly explore these 3 with the open door for there is more stories to tell and more kids and more monsters to find.
Like in your description of everything, it says that the people the kids were able to find the monsters only when they overcome, overcome what's keeping them kind of suppressed, like their weaknesses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So is it a situation where if other people look in the backpack, they won't see the monster? So that opens up the whole idea that there's a world of backpacks that people just can't see into the keep because they have a veil over their eyes.
I like that you brought this up, Levins, is that the way it works out is, you're right, they have to overcome some personal obstacles so they can see, not inside the keep, but they can see the backpack.
Oh,
they won't be able to find the monster's keep until they are in the right frame of mind to perceive it, right?
Gotcha.
And that requires overcoming something inside them so they can see. It doesn't mean they've solved all their problems, but they've taken the first step.
Nice.
And that is what allows them to see the monster's keep.
Oh, nice, man.
Yeah.
And there you go. You got the whole gang right here.
That's the whole gang that we'll explore here in this first volume. We'll get this whole gang will come out. You got Gren, the guy on the right there, the purple, who's like a woodland alchemist. It's kind of the best way to describe him. He builds potions. That's his power as a monster. And then there's Rage, who's the ogre berserker. And then there's Kato, who is this almost mechanical panther / robot that Jinsu, the kid there, on the left, he communicates with it via like an Xbox controller.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I like that. Now, with the villain here, though, what are we? So we've got the red monsters, but then there's also a humanoid character. How does that play? Who are we looking at there?
So the red beasts, imagine, are like the orcs for Sauron, right?
Yeah. Yep.
They are like the minions. They are the grunts. They're the ones doing the damage. And there's not just, you see those red beasts that you see there. Those are 2 red beasts, but they're, thank you, Mobseed. Those are 2 of the red beasts, but there are different kinds of red beasts. Others in that world that aren't just that, like they're sort of like the drone warrior. Mm-hmm. There's one that's in cover that's a hydra that has 7 heads. And so this humanoid character here, she's our arch villain, and ultimately, she's commanding the beasts, right? And she's humanoid, but not quite human. And then these 2 guys that you see here with the bats are her henchmen in the world above, and are her human henchmen that help lead the beasts in when they're dealing with the world that we live in here.
Mm-hmm. I like that. So there's different types of henchmen involved. So it's not just, the red beasts running around.
Right. It's not just the drones, it's not just a zombie invasion. There's a layer to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's great. And you even have a statue here. Now, is this
statue, man?
Yeah.
One in the world, just like the 8th.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You get it, Bevins. It's one in the world. So it's a custom design, custom print, hand painted by a professional painter. It's a beautiful piece. It's a true collectible. It's 6.5 inches tall. I don't have it with me because I'm out of town at the moment. But these are real pictures that I took, of it. And I had 2 thoughts, is like, toy manufacturing, etc. But then I also thought, there's something really special about building something really unique for a campaign that only exists in a campaign and can't be gotten later or in another way. And so I wanted this to be that mark, as this unique thing. And maybe it becomes, a toy later on, or maybe it doesn't. But whoever has this will have number 1 and will have the handmade version.
Nice.
You always have something cool like that in your campaign.
Yeah.
So is that one of a kind item?
It makes me sick.
You have to. Now,
what happens? It can be yours. It can be yours.
Which is that? Is it the last? Where is it? Let's find it. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, for $9.50 right here, everyone. Malian Rage figurine, 1 of 1, handmade, true collectible right here. This could be yours.
It's a real
Tonight.
It can all be yours.
All be yours.
And then there's some original art because Maxie, my artist, Maxie Dallow, and I think you were talking with Phil earlier today, right?
Yes. Phil Diaz. Yes.
Yeah. He also, Maxie's also doing one of his storylines too, the silhouette character he draws him. But Maxie is my artist, and I think he's just doing his best work.
His style's fantastic.
Right. I feel like Maxie is a James Herron or a Daniel Warren Johnson in the makings. He's that good. So.
And the style fits, it fits with the book. Because this, now that you're going for an all ages with this, right?
That's right. This is these first 2 books are, definitely a rated M experience. But this is an all ages book. And albeit it's all ages in regards to the fact that it's, the content is, there's no cursing or gore or nudity or things like that. So it's clean in regards to that nature, but it is mature in the sense that it deals with complex feelings and the possible separation of a family. So I think it really appeals like a Pixar film where it's appealing to adults and to younger people for different reasons.
Nice. Let's check out the campaign video too. These are great campaign videos. Boom.
I started seeing the cracks just after Mom and Dad began fighting. They were thin as pencils at first, then they got bigger, and things started to disappear. Beasts are pouring out of them. beasts trying to rip the world in two. Just like my family is being ripped in half by my parents. But we're not alone. There are keeps shaped like backpacks hidden in the world within. They hold monsters for those willing to fight. Here, monsters are not the things to be afraid of, but embrace. Monsters are the ones who are going to save us.
So that's such a great video. It's like a freaking trailer for a movie. How do the other two kids control their monsters? So we know one's controlled with almost like an Xbox controller, but how are the other two controlling their monsters?
Right. So Mali and Gatsby are the brother and sister, right? And then Jinsu is Mali's boyfriend, and he becomes her boyfriend right at the beginning of the book, because I didn't want this story to be about a couple, will they get together? Does she think I'm cute? Instead, I wanted it to be
Rachel.
Yeah. Instead, it's about a couple that gets together right away and then has to deal with the troubles of taking a journey and doing hard things together. Mm-hmm. So it's a little bit of a mirror of what's happening with their parents' struggle. So now the monsters aren't necessarily controlled like a robot. Gren is as a wise sage monster and has lots of information about the lore of the world. Rage talks very little and breaks lots of things. They're an ally, really, but his monster is unique because for him to interface with it's through the remote control, right? And he's controlling his in a really unique way, whereas the other two don't have that, right? Because each monster it's unique in this world and how they function. But think of them more as allies that have the same goal, which is to preserve the Six Rings and to keep the two worlds together.
So do they all know each other in the monster world? The monsters, do they know each other?
Yeah. So in the mythos of the monsters,
why laugh at that? That's a good question.
This is an important question, Blevins.
Like, are they hanging out like at the bar?
Hang out?
Yeah, sometimes they crawl into each other's backpacks.
My backpack.
Yeah, the backpacks are like genies and lamps. Backpacks are like genies and lamps. So they all know each other. So imagine at one time in the world within, there were hundreds of monsters, and there is this mighty warrior / prophet named Torhild who rallied all the monsters, and they used to be feral and monstrous, and he rallied them and taught them dignity and respect and formed them into this sort of holy army, if you will. And so all of these monsters have made this promise, this oath to this ancient warrior and prophet who is gone now, and only his spirit lives in the world within. But they've made this commitment. So they all share this common bond, the monsters do. And they know each other, certainly know about each other. If they aren't all friends, they certainly are a part of the same cause. Mm-hmm. Does that answer your question, Blevins?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, I wasn't trying to be, I wasn't like, oh, is Rage at home and a crack opens up because her parents are fighting and, and then they come into our world, we go into their world or they're making fun of the robot guy. They're like, oh, here comes Kato. Here comes Kato. He's running on Windows 98, get out of here. I think really kind of wondered if they all came from the same. They have their own keeps, so I didn't know if all the keeps were from the same world. Yeah,
Herrenberg. Do the monsters go to school at Monsters Inc?
Yeah, I mean, are they graduating this year? Like is Molly going to prom with Grin? That's kind of what.
No, see the monsters. The monsters already went to school. They didn't need that stuff. They're in the homeschool track. So they didn't waste their time with public education. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they were thrown right into the mist.
They probably got a better education than what most kids get at public education.
That's true. In fact, based on current test scores, they killed them. They just crushed them,
literally and physically.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, they're homeschooled monsters.
Nice.
And that's probably the best way to say it. Homeschooled monsters.
And TJ James says, so they are not mechs by proxy. No, they're not.
No. TJ James always with these good insights. No, these are their own thinking creatures with their own feelings and their own emotions and their own complexity to them.
Nice.
Ah,
this is
Andrew
gonna be
Wilson.
Andrew Wilson in the house. I pledged Adam. Yes. I want kids and monsters. There we go. Now, you did mention something like down the road. So what is your plan with kids and monsters? Is this going to be an ongoing like graphic novel series?
So as at the moment it stands, I'm planning 2 volumes. This first story arc is 2 volumes. And so I would love to see there be many volumes, but we'll have to play that out. For sure, there'll be this one and a follow up to it. But that's I'll leave it at that. I hope we get to play more in the world of kids and monsters. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So you have 23 days left. You're 87% funded. So we need to get funded ASAP, people. So make sure to share Kids and Monsters on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you're a fellow streamer, see if Adam wants to pop on and chat. Try to encourage people to back this. The illustrations in this book are tight. I mean, you really aren't going to get any better than this. I mean, these look awesome. The storyline's great. It's an all-age book, but again, it's something that appeals to adults as well. I mean, this is awesome. I love this. This is a no-brainer. Back this book. It's from Adam, so you know it's going to be freaking awesome. All of his books truly are. So guys, you got to get out there. You got to back this book. Let's get this thing moving. Let's make it happen. I can't really say any more good things about this ad. I mean, this looks awesome. I love it.
Yeah,
I fell in love with it since I first saw, some preview stuff you sent me, privately before you even posted anything. And when I saw the concepts, I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, this is sick. I love this whole idea. I love it so much. I really do. This IP has such a potential. I can't wait to see how it blossoms and what other directions of media it may go in. It's gonna happen.
I think. Thank you. Yeah, I would love to see more of it. And I think, in many ways, it's deep in my heart, this story, and I can't wait for it to be just more and more. So we shall see. Fingers crossed. We take this thing far and wide, and many people get a copy, because I think that there's this magical thing that happens when enough people read something and enough people talk about it, it can take on a life of its own. So Kids and Monsters Halloween costumes. All right,
awesome. There you go.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So let's just discuss real quick some of the levels you're offering, because you do offer a digital edition. And you've got your featured edition, which is coming with a shirt, the book, and we also forgot to talk about the ash can you have in this campaign for Nail and Goo.
That's right. Yeah. So, and the digital edition gets the digital of the main graphic novel and the ash can, which is a campaign exclusive. This will be the only way to get it. It's the tale about Nail, who is a monster who crash lands outside of Lovelock, and he gets to grow up, and he has a friend named Goo, it's his Korean girl, who is a Korean girl's name, and who is his friend, and he has to grow up, try to figure out how to fit into this world that doesn't want a monster in it. And he has this living organism on his back that he has a symbiotic relationship with him that turns into these different spikes and vines. And if you could say he's some sort of like a symbiont type, is that he could consume anything. His organic system is so strong it can digest metal even. Hence he got the name Nail, because he got given nails by Goo when he was young and he would eat them. So this is, and there's a monster there's a bounty hunter that comes from his past in this tale that's haunting him, and so he has to fight tooth and nail. Pun there, has to fight tooth and nail to keep his to fight for what he has. So this is just a 16-page teaser that takes us into this world and who he is. And it will be a story that we can, continue on later, but it'll be your chance to get the first glimpse.
Nice. Very cool. It's always fun getting an ash can. More and more creative.
I love it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that was such a big thing back in the day. Remember? Like I remember, like even like with your Wizard magazines and stuff, you'd always kind of get like an ash can or something in that magazine that just got you into like another book or something. And I even like going to the comic shops, they'd almost be sitting there free. You know, hey, here's an ash can for this or that. I love those. So you got your featured, you're gonna get your T-shirt, you're gonna get your book, you're gonna get the ash can. Does that now will you also get a digital copy? Or is that its own?
So everybody gets a digital copy. All the backers get a digital copy, and for the mob seat, the books shipped from our warehouse in Long Beach. But the way it works out is like we've always done with the others is because I'm quite a bit ahead on the pages, and so we'll in January after the campaign ends, we'll deliver issue 1, the next month issue 2, issue 3. There's 3 issues in this graphic novel, and then there will be the ash can. So everybody will get the digital issues right away. And this book is an oversized hardcover, right? So it is A4 size, which is a European comic size. Mm-hmm. So it's like a full 1.5 inches bigger on the top and sides. So when you open it up, it's much more immersive.
Oh, that's going to be awesome. That's great. That's great. So it's $25 then. It's just straight for the book. You can pledge $25, get you the book, get you digital. $33 gets you the book and the ash can plus your digital. And the way Adam does it, I mean, it's like, your pool box. You're going to get, each month you're going to get another digital copy until you're actually holding the physical one in your hand.
That's right. It's true.
It's a great model.
That's true.
I loved that with the 8th, man. I thought that was great.
It's something I tried the very first time, and I think it worked, and a lot of people have appreciated that. And so I've tried to keep it going.
Mm-hmm. Nice. So there you have it, guys. So there's the pledge levels. You got original art level at $235, and of course the Malian Rage figurine, one of a kind, a true 1-in-1 handcrafted piece, custom piece, which could be yours, and that's the top tier item.
Could be mine.
Could be yours, Blevins. You could be the proud owner of that. But
Dude,
man, this looks great, Adam. Right? That's it. I'll give you good times all the time. I just love good times.
With a good time.
Whoa! This is so cool, man. Another great campaign you got coming through here. Can't wait to read this and dive into this and see where this goes. But I have to ask. So, Nail and Goo, is that our next campaign?
It might be. Might be.
Ooh.
It might be. I'm gonna ultimately. I need to get through this journey, get that out, because a separate artist, his name is Magnaz, is working on that, and figure out the speed at which he's working. And so we'll decide. We will see what.
So someone is working on it.
Yeah, his name is Magnaz, and he's working on the Ashcan now, and then we'll work into the book. But will that be the next campaign? Yeah, I just walked right into that, didn't I, Blevins?
Yeah, you did.
It's all good.
Yeah. No, I just walked right into that
one.
Yeah.
So now, though, you do have your other books, and you have your website, Gifted Rebels. Gifted Rebel Comics.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, can they get your other graphic novels through this website?
Yeah. So this is a proper Shopify store, and TJ, there will be. And so yes, this is a proper Shopify store. You can buy the 8th right now. It's here in our warehouse. You can get the hardcover edition for $50 or the soft cover for $25. You can pre-order the Kill Journal, which gets here shortly. Or there's Asunder, our tabletop role-playing game, which has 2 books and a whole slew of minis and Keeper's Screen and novel, a whole pile of things. And all of that you can order through the website. So this is, we have a small marketing company that helps us manage this, and we've been able to continue to keep selling the books after the campaigns to the website. So it's been really cool to see the little e-commerce happen with it.
Definitely.
Gotta spread the
killing
word.
The game, Adam. Killing the game.
Rebel. That's what this is about. Indie comics, man. Being a rebel.
Indie. You gotta swing with everything you got, right? How else do you do it, man?
It's your game, man. You make the rules. You make the rules to win, and you just gotta charge full steam, man. You're doing it.
You leave nothing on the table.
Nothing on the table.
I got to try, right? We got to turn this into something, right? He started this last year in April, this journey with the 8th, and it's like I've got to build it into something,
That's
so
it. It was last April.
Yeah,
it was last April, huh?
Yeah. So if you can imagine, it's like that was
Wow.
a year and a half ago now when we first met.
I know, and I just reached out to you. I saw the campaign. I thought it was cool. Got you on the show. We talked about it, and here we are.
Actually, remember what it was? Was I sent you an email, and Blevin said, "Oh, this guy did Spell Slingers." Do you remember?
Yeah.
It's because
you contacted us? You reached out to us?
I reached out to you guys.
Oh.
I reached out to you guys first, said, "Hey, would you have me on?" And I sent a little bit of my bio, and Blevin said, "Oh wait, this guy did Spell Slingers. I know that show.
Yes.
There's a Celebrity Magic the Gathering TV show I directed. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
And so that was my inside track. Had I not done Spell Slingers, I may have never made it on the show. and never would have made it.
On. We were desperate. No, I'm joking.
And Escape Tonight. I mean, he had all the influence on there. I was like, man, how was Tana Mojo? Was she cool? Like,
Tana's awesome. Tana's awesome. She's, definitely like controlled chaos in the good ways, and we had she was in 2 seasons of the show, and her and I get along really well.
Awesome, man. Yeah. Keep killing it, brother. Keep killing it. I can't wait to get some of our reviews going too. That's
yes. Nice. So there will be the indie review happening with Nile and I, and which where we'll have, read indie books. I think that's kind of our hook with it, right? It's because who's doing the review for the small Kickstarter book or the small INDIEGOGO book, right? Mm-hmm. And a chance, to get it reviewed. And we're going to start out with some cool stuff. Maybe a little Undead Border. Maybe
we got a lot of stuff actually in the lineup.
A lot of great stuff.
We have a lot of great stuff in the lineup.
Yep. We've backed I've backed over 170 on INDIEGOGO, and then a whole bunch on Kickstarter too. So we got books.
I think we're gonna focus on I think a lot of INDIEGOGOs first.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
It's gonna be quite nice.
That was Billy Tucci off camera saying INDIEGOGO first.
Yeah. He's like INDIEGOGO first, and then go over to Kickstarter. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
That's how he does it. Yeah. So it'll be, but we'll be. We got to help out because I think there's an exciting way to create it's how do you create the conversation, right? Because people back the books, you talk about them, but then you get them, and hopefully people are reading them. But you got to read them and talk about them, so then the conversation can keep going, right?
Yeah. So. Would you buy them, Andrew? Would you buy them? I'm actually looking into a lot of this stuff. Hoodies, t-shirts.
In fact, I mean, I don't know why I'm wearing this hoodie. It should not say the North Face. It should say POPXP.
Yeah, and I shouldn't have Super Mario and Yoshi on me right now.
It should say POPXP.
It should say POPXP. There's a great role model out there that we probably really should maybe, follow in some of this merchandising stuff that they do, I mean,
Mel Brooks from Spaceballs? Merchandising. Yeah. It's all about merchandising.
Yes. All about merchandising.
I mean, you have the example before
you. Flamethrower.
Yes.
Yeah, she will most likely provide how. Yeah, it's very simple. Just know she hated it. She hated it. Make sure to check out her store. Her store opened up. You guys got to go check it out. Her online store is live. So head on over to Jennifer.
This new set.
Yes.
Did you see this Power Girl set? It's incredible.
I sweat.
You got the
I mean, it's.
I got the vapors from it, man. I got the vapors. So I wonder if you guys have a second to talk about something that's been floating around. I don't know if you have 10, 15 minutes, but it's quite the topic of everything out there in the world of comics. Can you guess what I'm alluding to?
The paper shortage.
No,
the paper shortage.
No. We get through the paper shortage. The paper shortage is
the supply chain issues.
That's simple stuff. You get through that. Something more mainstream. That
the new Batman animated series.
Why The Last Man was canceled?
Matt Reeves.
Why was The Last Man canceled?
Well, I read the Hollywood Reporter article on it, and Hulu canceled it mid-season, and it's FX, right? And FX is one of the most devout networks to their creators.
Yeah.
And they're so respectful of their showrunners and their writers, and I'm arguably the most. And a mid-season cancel, I mean, it's absolutely unheard of. Now, the budget of the show is about $8.5 million an episode, which is pricey.
The big red
and but really, one of the big factors is the show, because they've lost multiple showrunners and multiple cast members. So people like Diane Lane, they've paid her millions of dollars before they even rolled the camera. So the show has a massive deficit and debt. And anytime a show gets upside down like that, it gets real easy to be like, oh, this isn't a #1 show. Right? Because you're so deep in debt on the show. You have no clear end in sight. It's expensive to produce in the first place. And so you just kind of.
Well, it's almost like they pulled a Swamp Thing. It's almost like they pulled a Swamp Thing with it, you know?
That's exactly right. Same
with
Swamp Thing.
It's like it got started.
Yeah.
I liked Swamp Thing. I liked Swamp Thing.
And I thought it was, dude, I liked Why. I liked Why the Lesbian.
I didn't watch it. I didn't even hear about it until I heard that it was getting canceled.
Yeah, I mean, I've only seen like 3 episodes or whatever, but yeah, I mean, it was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I like the comics, you know, by Brian Vaughan. I think Brian Vaughan's a great talent, you know. He's done a lot of good books, you know, and
shout out to Brian Vaughan who's watching at home.
This is it right here, guys. This thing has gone insane.
Oh, okay. So we've just been rambling. You've just been rambling.
Because I personally wanted to know why that show got canceled. So my own selfishness brought me there. But I'm coming to here because
to continue on when it wasn't the subject.
So I mean, this right here, I've actually been getting quite not upset that he's gay. I don't mind that anyone's gay, but I'm quite upset about just the direction of this book. Have you guys taken any notice into this?
Yeah, it's really strange. I mean, I think this shows that the people at DC are not talking to each other. I mean, you know, they just had Robin come out as bisexual, and now they have Superman's son coming out as bisexual or gay. It seems like they're taking all of the stances at once and trying to put them together, and then of course now they're fighting for like kids' rights, and I don't know, it's not Superman. I don't know any other way to say it. It's not Superman. It's not.
If you're going to label something Robin, Superman, then it needs to be Superman. Like, even if it's Jonathan Kent, I mean, there's been other mantles of Batman, right? Other guys have worn, have worn the cape and the cowl and done their thing, but they kind of kept to Batman. Like, this is even like, all right, that's cool. Like, even if he was gay, but like, let's like actually fight something. Like let's. I don't see how this is brave. I don't see how this is paving the way. I don't see how this is doing anything by just saying, okay, well, we're not going to make Clark Kent gay because we're not going to do anything with Clark Kent anymore, right? So we're gonna have
because of copyright issues.
Because of copyright issues and all that stuff.
And the climate, yeah.
And even the changing of of his slogan, you know, for a better tomorrow, whatever. Well, you know, everyone's pissed about it, but they also lost the copyright to that. So there's so much stuff involved in this, but now it's almost like they're like erasing this past, right, of just this character that shaped comics, right? And now they're just desperately trying to do something different with him. And I sit here and I'm like, make Bruce Wayne gay, make Batman gay. Do this to Batman. DC will completely be destroyed. They don't fuck with Batman too bad. Like, make Robin gay. Okay, we all joke about it. I don't care. That's not even my Robin that they made, you know, buy or whatever. But they won't mess with Batman in this way. But they're doing it with Superman.
Well, Batman and Superman have plot armor. They have plot armor, bro.
It's just it's all just it just drives me nuts. There's just it's like a novelty, like a trend. Like, these are people that really live a certain lifestyle, and it almost seems like the media uses it as a trend to like, all right, well, what's popular right now? Let's just make it this way. And it's not like they don't even make it brave. Like, he's bad. And like, why don't we fight the real evil? Like, if you want to talk about refugees, why are we, like Dean Cain said, you know, like why are we not writing comic books where he's flying over there to stop, you know, whatever's going on, to bring the refugees here? Like, that's brave. Like, don't just yell at, make the United States the enemy when we could actually be fighting the people that are persecuting innocent people and women, and not allowing women to go to school, raping young boys, like all of these things. Like, why are we not fighting that? Instead, we're talking about climate change and this and that. It blows my mind. Like, it's Superman.
Well, I think this is at the core. This is, I think, my concern in general, because I don't think there's a right or wrong side to stand politically, right? I don't think that the left is right and the right is right, and or in between, because I think what really is my struggle with what's happening here is what's happened is the creator of Superman is no longer in the equation, right? This has now been handed over to a corporation that got bought by another corporation, that got bought by another corporation, by another corporation. And then they're using characters that have been created by actual artists who struggled and slaved to get these things out there and built a legacy. And then they are hijacking them for whatever their purposes are, right? Mm-hmm. And at the core, this is what is bothersome about it, is that it's like, you aren't the creator of this character. He's not yours in the sense from creative authorship. He's yours because you signed a contract to pay people money. So at the core of this is just corporate comics. It's corporate buyout. There's no authenticity left here, right? Mm-hmm. And instead of crafting a new character with a new message and a new theme, you've just hijacked what you have and to your and use your corporate influence. And so it's like, I think that they are so it's what's disappointing is that it's like is that I think the reason why these disconnects happen is because we've lost a commitment and a respect to the creators and to the original artists. And as a result, you get just corporate art, right? It's not really art anymore, right? And so I think that's what's saddening about it. I think it's why it creates a disingenuous feeling, because, and a divisive feeling, because it's not authentic. It's not, we don't have Bob Kane saying, here's what I'm going to do with Robin. You don't. You have some guy 50 writers past saying it. And so I think that when I look at these kinds of choices, you just say, okay, this is corporate. This is what happens when a corporation is trying to be the creative. Yeah. Right. And when you are doing that, right, it's like same thing that happens with Cowboy Bebop, right? It's like the showrunners don't say, hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go to the creator of Cowboy Bebop and say, what should they wear? We're having struggles with these costumes because of this. Could you draw something new? Can we bring you in and let this be that person's vision? No, you instantly abandon it. You've bought it, right? You own it and are being creative, but you're not being creative. You're creative because you signed a contract, not because you made something. And so it's just such a, my fight is always to look out for the creators, right? And I think that things fall apart when they get abandoned, which is clearly what's happened here. It's clearly what happens here, and so like, and my show Escape Tonight has a leading gay man. At one point I had the most popular TV show with a leading gay man in America. I'm pro gay rights. I'm pro, but we built something, Joey and I, that was authentic.
It was authentic and original.
Right.
It was
its own piece. But what we have here is now, a hijacking of something, and I don't know how they can not realize that is divisive and alienating instead of bringing people together.
Yeah.
And when these kind of decisions are made, could the creator be involved and be publicly behind it because they have something they've always wanted to share or whatever is the case. So it's really, I think, it just shows that utter disconnect, right? It's like, welcome to corporate comics. Jim Lee made a statement, right, recently in August, where he said, what we've decided to do is we're going to make bigger, fewer, and better comics, right? Based on the models.
Quality, not quantity. which is
Right.
what they should
Bigger,
have been
fewer,
all along.
better, right? So they're going to be downsizing. There's already it's already been said, right? Let alone what happens when Discovery Plus takes over, and who knows what happens then. So you know, to me, it's just like this is why I've got to quit following this the mainstream books, because you just I don't really that interested in corporate comic books.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm just not interested in corporate art, right? Like I liked the back in the day when the punk band flyer was, you know, just taped on the wall. And, right. I'm in it for that. And so this is just like, dude,
it's like almost like I said, it's like they follow the trend of like, what can we do to keep our hands clean? Well, and you know, how do they do it? And the thing that stinks to me, it's like, right, like at the same point for respect, it's like, okay, so let's change. All right, we're gonna have a new Superman. He's gonna, you know, is gonna be Superman's son. He's gonna be gay. He's gonna be this. Superman was a badass, right? He really was. Like, he's like basically the most powerful guy in the world, you know, beating up villains, this and that, you know, galactic monsters and creatures and just crazy stuff. And then for the gay community, they give him Superman's son, who's like holding signs like, why can't he be gay and be a badass? Why is he not battling Brainiac and this and that and stuff, instead of going after like these other, again, like I said, like, to me, it's disrespectful to everybody.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And I'll tell you, I see this as a different play from them. Like, you know, I've used this example so many times because I feel that it fits so many different situations. But you remember Syndrome from The Incredibles?
Yeah.
Like his deal was, when everybody's special, nobody's special. So it's like they continue to use these tropes over and over again to fill their world with all these tropes. So when, you know, they introduce these people, there's nothing really special about them because there's so many people out there that have that same trope, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes any sense, but
no, it does.
I mean, it's ridiculous,
he gave his dad a lecture about not doing enough. I read that issue. I was like, oh my gosh, this is insane. Like, there's no action to it. It's just like whining and complaining, and it's such a disrespect to Superman. I think I think it just disrespects everyone in general. This book.
I mean, Mob Seat's comment is amazing. Did you see that? Have you seen
which one?
The giant tattoo?
Oh yeah. Imagine if you had a giant Superman tattoo on your arm, how ashamed you would be now. They don't care about fans who have been in it for a long time.
Absolutely.
You know, again,
sure.
You know, I can see that.
Once again, it's a disrespect of legacy fans.
Yeah.
Which seems odd, right? Because I can understand it from a news cycle standpoint. This gives them news, right? You're in the New York Times. It gives you this discussion point. And maybe that has meaning to them on a corporate level, right? But you're like, once again, you're disrespecting to your legacy fans. Why would you burn out your legacy fans? Because to be honest, DC, you don't have new fans. Yeah. You don't have new ones. The numbers, you can say whatever you want. The numbers are reported every month. And from 2010 until now, you have less fans every month. That's the facts.
Correct. So
why then would you push away your legacy fans because you don't have new ones coming in? Mm-hmm. There's clearly a conversation happening on their side that isn't about, you know, maybe direct sales. There's another message somewhere in the line that says, hey, here's our new objective, right? And whatever it is. And to be honest, that's why I'm all about the indie, right? Because you just can get off the bandwagon.
Like, exactly.
It's like, oh, hey guys, like, hey, you can go ahead and burn that ship down. You can burn the Fortress of Solitude down. It's okay. I don't need it anymore.
If I want to remember it, I'll go back to the back issues that I did enjoy. I mean, that's what we have, right? We'll go back to the back issues we did enjoy. Because what got me is, did you guys see? You remember? It's just probably well over a month now when Ethan Van Sciver did the debate with that Taylor guy. Did you guys watch that at all?
There was a debate, but I didn't watch it.
All right. So it was funny. There was a comment that kept being made. And they like, whenever Ethan would talk, he'd be like, well, it's not made for you. So you don't have to like it. The book's not made for you. And it's like, well, that's the point, Taylor. Like, the books aren't are only made for them or someone else or whoever. They're not made for everyone. So me, I'm like sitting here listening. I'm like, but that's what drives me nuts with corporate books and comic books and stuff, is the fact that it's like, well, okay, so make these books, but why can't I have Chuck Dixon and Graham Nolan back on Batman? Like, why don't you give the stuff the fans want? You know, just try it, DC. Try bringing back some of these creators and see how your sales do. See how the stories do. See, they're not going to do that because, again, it's corporate, so it's also down to money. Let's farm out a lot of our artists, right? They're going to farm out a lot of the work. You know, writers seem to be local. Artists seem to be, you know, out of the U.S. But again, why not make books for everyone? That's fine. If you want to have, you know, if you want a character to be this way or that way, that's fine. If you want to keep traditional comics going, then let us still have that traditional comic setup. I mean, look at Scott Snyder. Look at Greg Capullo. What are they promoting most of now? Their independent work and their private IPs, because they know they're going out. They're going out. That's where it is. Jimmy Palmiotti, Paper Films. What is he promoting? His own stuff, because they're going out. Will they do cameo work and this and that with DC and stuff? Probably will, because they still have good rapport, because they keep all their personal beliefs and this and that, I'm sure, aside. Or they may be like-minded. I don't know them personally, but for some reason they're able to maintain. So again, Marvel, DC, why can't you just make books for everybody?
Do you remember the blip? Do you remember the blip in Marvel when they had the skewed universe type world? You know, the alternate multiverse world where Wolverine was gay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember that. Do you remember that deal? It had such a small lifespan. You know, that one instance where, you know, he made out with Hercules right when the world, spoiler alert, Wolverine made out with Hercules right before the world ended, right? And then, like, so it didn't really hurt anything when it came to you know, it really didn't hurt anything when it came to that storyline. But then you come over to DC and they're like, hey, Robin's gay. So it had that little blip of time, but now Superman's gay, so it kind of just pushed off the Robin being gay thing, and now it's a new blip for them to focus on. I think it's just a ploy to remain relevant.
Midnighter's gay too. Did you know that?
Yes, and once again, I don't think there's anything wrong with these characters and these choices. It's just this is the problem that happens when a corporation is squatting on the cultural stage.
Correct.
They are squatting on the cultural stage, and as a result, they're just going to regurgitate their characters. And instead of making a new character who's gay and has a journey and whatever, they're going to regurgitate Superman that way, because they don't actually have the courage to make a new character.
Yeah.
Right. So that's our problem, is we don't have courageous folks. What you do is you regurgitate the same one saying you're courageous, then creates all this division. It's like, no, bro, what's courageous is to come up with a new character and see if the world will like it. Not hijacking a character that was already a hit. That's not heroics. That's corporation takeover 101, right? Like that's, and so I agree that that's the real shame about it. Not that you have gay characters. There should be
nothing wrong with gay characters. There should be gay characters.
Yeah,
there should be gay characters. And there's also gay
nothing,
characters. Midnighter's a kick-ass character. I mean, there's definitely more lesbian characters than male gay men, but
sure.
I mean, you can make a kick-ass character be gay. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't care.
Yeah.
But again,
it's just the squatting on the cultural stage, just sitting there, just taking a dump after dump.
Yeah, exactly.
Put a big flag and stake it.
That's why we focus on books like this, Kids and Monsters, everyone. So if you can, back Kids and Monsters, share it on your social medias, help spread the word. 23 days left, 87% funded. Let's make it happen for Kids and Monsters. Let's get this thing over 20K, and another grand slam for Adam. All his books are really great. I backed all of them. Looking forward to Kill Journal. I've read the 8th twice. I'm telling you, nowhere to disappoint. And if you guys are interested in buying the 8th or even pre-ordering Kill Journal, head on over to giftedrebels.com. Again, all these links plus many campaigns from all our friends are in the description below. So you can hit up even our other friends in the community and their campaigns. But for this one, Kids and Monsters is on top. So make sure to back it, share it. And Adam Blevins, it's always a pleasure streaming with you. What's great is we
Gentlemen.
don't have to always be
Gentlemen.
promoting a campaign to stream, but I want to thank you again for coming on and talking.
I missed
about
you
your book.
guys. I just want to state that. I missed
That's
you guys.
it.
I
Oh,
cried.
this is deep,
like a
deep
lot.
feelings.
I cried a lot.
All right. Well, hey everyone, have a great night. Tomorrow, I think me and Billy are going to be on. I don't know if our guest confirmed, but I will double check with him, and I believe he might have, and I'll get a promo out. But we will be on tomorrow night. I feel silly. I don't know if we definitely have our guest or not. But I believe it's Patrick Purnell. But I'll find out from Billy. I'll get that promo up and tune in tomorrow night, 9 p.m. We will definitely be live, and we'll be talking some more awesome comics on Indiegogo. So everyone have a great night, and we will see you all tomorrow night. Peace. Hey everyone, thank you for joining us on POPXP. If you haven't already, make sure to click that subscribe button and also click the bell for notifications when we go live and we upload some awesome new content. Also, don't forget to head on over to Twitter and follow us at the POPXP and over on Instagram at the POPXP. Thanks again everyone, and we'll see you soon.